Hello guys, in this video we are going to talk about Spring Boot roadmap beginners for 2025. Spring Boot is a popular framework for building Java based microservices and web applications guys. This roadmap will guide you from the basics to advanced Spring Boot development. First step one guys, learn Java fundamentals. This is very indispensable part guys, and you should learn about the Java fundamental things. Before diving into Spring Boot, ensure you have a solid understanding of Java, specifically in the core Java concepts, guys. Number one, OOPS concept, object-oriented programming, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, abstraction. Next is exception handling, guys. Next is collection framework, list, set, map, array list. How those are all working, you should understand all about that one. Java Streams API, how Streams API is working. Lambda expressions and functional programming, file handling, input output streams. Okay, next is Java 8 plus features. Spring Boot heavily relies on Java 8 plus functional interfaces, streams, and optional method references, guys. Recommended learning resources: Java SC documentation, online courses is Udemy, Coursera, and so many things are there, guys. And which one you want to prefer to learning the resources, I will go to give you the links in my description, in this video description. Please have a look onto that and learn more in detail, guys, if you are a beginner. Okay, and step 2, learn build tools Marvin and Gradle. And Spring Boot projects use Marvin or Gradle for dependency management and builds, guys. Basically, Marvin most commonly used for install. Most of the people are using in Marvin, guys. Install Marvin and learn commands, and m1 clean install, m1 package, understand pom.xml, dependencies, plugins. Gradle is alternative to Marvin, and learn about the build.gradle configuration, how we are doing the build.gradle. And the recommendation resources, official Marvin and the Gradle documentation, guys. And based on your company, based on your project, guys, which one they are using. Most of the companies are using Maven. Okay, next step 3 is learn Spring Core, guys. Spring Boot is built on Spring framework, so you need to understand Spring Core concepts. Are what are those, guys? Dependency injection, inversion of control, IOC, and Spring bean scopes, application context versus bean factory, guys. Recommended learning path: create a simple Java application using the Spring Core. Understand how Spring manages dependencies, guys. Next is step 4, get started with Spring Boot. Spring Boot simplifies Spring applications by providing auto configuration, no need for XML configuration, embedded servers, Tomcat, Jetty, production ready features, Accutator, and logging, guys. Set up your first Spring Boot application and use the initializer, https start.spring.io, and to generate a Spring Boot generate project. Okay, and add dependencies like Spring Web, Spring Boot dev tools, and Lombok, and run your Spring Boot first Spring Boot application using the Maven Spring Boot run or Java jar app.jar, guys. Practice task and create a simple REST API using the Spring Boot, guys. Step 5, learn Spring Boot annotations. These are all fundamental and essential, guys. You should learn these things. Is repeatedly in interview questions. There are so many people are asking in interview. Core annotations are Spring Boot application, main entry, point of Spring Boot, component, service, repository, define the beans, auto void, dependency injection. REST API annotations: REST controller, request mapping, get mapping, post mapping, path variable, request param, request body. These are all the REST API annotations, guys. Next is the practice task: build a REST API that returns hello world JSON response. Yeah, there are so many annotations, guys, but these are all the very important and essential. That's what I mentioned over here. And step 6 is learn Spring Boot REST API development. Build crude APIs using Spring Boot. Use Postman or Curl to test APIs. Learn exception handler. Implement DTOs, data transfer objects, for clean architecture. Practice task: create a crude API for managing product catalog, guys. So for testing perspective, I'm going to recommend the grpc UI also, guys. That's another popular one. You can use it that testing purpose, either Postman or Cool or grpc UI, whatever you want to, which one you are convenient for you, and you can use it that one. Step 7, connect Spring Boot to a database, JPA and Hibernate. Spring Boot provides a Spring Data JPA to work with the databases, learn JPA, Java Persistence API, use H2 database in memory DB for testing, use MySql, PostgresQL for real world application. Key concepts: entity, ID, generated value, defining database models, JPA repositories, CRUD operations, writing custom queries using the query. Practice task, guys: connect Spring Boot to a MySQL database and perform a CRUD operations. Step 8, learn Spring Boot security and JWT authentication. Spring security is the protect your REST API. JWT is a JSON app token based authentication. Practice task is implement your user authentication using JWT in a Spring Boot API, guys. Step 9, learn Spring Boot microservices architecture. Spring Boot is widely used for building microservices. Understand monolithic versus microservices architecture. Implement service discovery using the Spring Cloud, Netflix, Heroka, and Learn API, Get API, Gateway using the Spring Cloud Gateway. Implement inter-service communication using the Fin clients. Practice task, guys: build a microservices based on the project with the Heroka and the API Gateway. So I'm going to make another video, guys, in what is the difference between the monolithic and microservices and architecture, and easy to understand what is the difference between those, guys. Okay. And step 10 is the learn caching, logging, and monitoring. Caching, use the Spring Cache with Redis. Logging is use the SL4F4J and logback. And monitoring is use the Spring Boot and Accutator. And practice implement the caching for the Spring Boot application using Redis, guys. Step 11, containerization with Docker deployment. Already I explained about the DevOps roadmap, guys. There you are using in most of the times you heard about the Docker. Docker, here we are going to use it. In Docker is the package Spring Boot application into containers. Kubernetes is deploy the manage and Spring Boot services. CI/CD, use the Jenkins GitHub Actions to automate deployments. And practice task, guys: deploy a Spring Boot application in a Docker container. And step 12, keep learning and build projects and solidify your knowledge. Work on real projects, project ideas, employee management system, food plus security, e-commerce backend and microservices, payments, caching, logging platform, Spring security and JWT token, hotel booking system, whatever you want to. Doesn't matter, guys. And based on your knowledge and based on your experience, how much you're understanding, based on that you can make it in your project ideas. You can take it in employee, you want to take it to hotel booking system and the environment, whatever you can see in our side, guys, and just you can take it and you can work on that one. Doesn't matter which one is you are working, but deep knowledge is required, guys. Should understand step by step and do it the one. And conclusion, this roadmap will guide you from a beginner to advanced Spring Boot developer, guys. Focus on building projects at each step to reinforce your knowledge, guys. This is very indispensable thing, guys, and all the time you need to practice, understand what you are doing. That's more essential part to learn those things. And then once you finish to learning and all this stuff, and start to do your own projects, one or two projects, and connect with the database, either MySql or Oracle or whatever, like in whatever convenient for you, you can do it. And do practice, more practice using the JPA and Hibernate, and connect that Hibernate to Spring Boot, and do your CRUD operation using the microservices rather than using the monolithic, and then understanding most of the things, and then you can be succeed, guys, in your journey. Yeah, thank you, guys, and that's all in this video. Thank you for listening this video, and I will go to make it in more videos, guys. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, and we'll catch up in another video, guys. Bye bye now.